Habits, behavior, and personality. Can people change? Can old dogs learn new tricks? Are people born with their personalities or are personalities shaped? Perhaps changing your behavior and personality is as difficult as quitting an addiction like quitting cigarettes. If we can understand how habits, behavior, and personality form, then it might be easier for people to change as well as control their life and destiny as a result. And this video explains how habits, behavior, and personality are formed from reflexes. To understand how reflexes form, consider how athletes will do drills and exercises to train their reflexes, or how people will practice karate moves, or how law enforcement and soldiers will practice mock missions and scenarios. Meaning people will typically hone their reflexes through training, practicing, and drilling their bodies, such as so when they need to summon their reflexes during a real-life event, they will be able to do so instinctively. Your habits, behavior, and personality work in the same way as physical reflexes. For example, if someone yells at you, then it will be your reflex that determines if you will yell in response, apologize, plead for calmness, or some other variation. Your reflexes come from your past, such as from your childhood, such as if you learn to get your way from your parents by throwing tantrums, by being polite and apologetic, by negotiating and compromising, or some other variation. In psychology, there is a concept called conditioning that explains how punishment or reward can train the behavior and reflexes of human beings and animals alike. For example, someone mindlessly using a phone while driving might cause a car collision plus possible legal consequences, which can be such an awful experience that this person will learn to ignore phones while driving in the future. Responding to a phone can be a type of reward to people due to socialization with their friends via the phone, such as so people are willing to risk unsafe driving, and causing a collision might correct this reflex as a form of punishment. As such, a behavior can be corrected by terrible consequences, or alternatively can be avoided through logical thought and foresight, such as by consciously deciding not to use your phone while driving. Meaning your conscious awareness and your free will can use thoughts to control and shape your reflexes, therefore sculpt and change your habits, behavior, and personality. For example, you can plan a future event like planning chess moves where you tell yourself if one thing happens, you'll respond one way, or respond another way if something else happens, etc., therefore planning out the possibilities. Meaning you can use mental rehearsal to control your reflexes in the future, in the same way athletes, karate students, law enforcement, and soldiers will train their bodily reflexes. When you encounter life events, your mind and body can only draw upon past experiences to determine your reflexive response, usually duplicating a reflex that worked best for you in the past since it has worked for you before. This can include subtle reflexes like smiling while talking to people, such as because you've discovered that smiling makes conversations easier and pleasing to you based on past experiences. As a side note, there are sciences around micro-expressions to determine, for example, if people are lying due to subtle reflexes such as on people's faces. Meaning your habits, behavior, and personality are all muscle movements and reflexes of your body from the point of view of other people. Which means your fears and preferences are reflexive as well, including phobias, meaning your ongoing behavior in life are reflexes created by your past experiences. Your reflexes can be misinformed or mindless, such as how individuals might eat when they're depressed or bored and engorge their way to obesity, for example, which then can lead to unhealthy consequences, meaning obesity is usually not intentional. Other examples of reflexes that can lead to health problems include drinking alcohol leading to liver problems or smoking leading to lung problems. As is well known, quitting smoking, for example, is not easy and tends to be called an addiction, such as due to repeated practice the smoking reflexes entwined with your life as something you do when you're bored, talking to friends, drinking a drink, etc. For examples like tobacco, there is chemistry involved that makes the urge to smoke hurt and nettle you should you ignore it, like an itch screaming to be scratched. If you are trying to quit smoking or other addictions, you can try tolerating the pain and urges to practice living your life without smoking anymore, because the chemicals will eventually wear off and the pain and urges will subside as a result. If you decide to sneak in a smoke such as to reward your progress in quitting, then you will logically replenish the chemicals that cause those pains and urges, which reset your efforts, therefore making your quitting difficult all over again. Meaning cold turkey should be the shortest path out of an addiction, where you quit a substance completely and tolerate the chemical withdrawal until you feel normal again, and should mathematically result in the least amount of withdrawal pain overall. Such is why you practice living your life without the substance until your addiction becomes a thing in the past and your life goes on. Thus, a disclaimer, be sure to consult with your doctor or other experts before attempting a major life change. Please know how you can consciously make decisions that sculpt and shape your reflexes to then determine your fate in the future, like deciding to never smoke again or choosing to not use the phone while driving. This is applicable to obesity too. It is an understanding of science and consequences for you to foresee overeating meal after meal correlating to having a fat body and the increased probability of experiencing other health problems as a result. Meaning obesity is not obvious by overeating one meal. Instead, it is a rational understanding of the mind that anticipates the consequences of overeating meal after meal, to therefore understand obesity is a product of overeating many meals. So know how your mental acumen about life, such as through understanding reality and consequences, etc., helps you make good decisions in the present to determine your future well-being. Contrasted to someone already obese wanting to slim down, then this person faces an uphill battle due to the culmination of too many bad decisions from the past, and a quick fix is not realistic since so much past effort was put into creating the obesity. And that summarizes how life works, where your conscious free will makes decisions in the present that then sculpt and shape your future well-being, body, habits, reflexes, etc. This means drivers who speed or run stop signs will keep doing so and will never change unless they decide to change or unless they get a speeding ticket or cause a collision, etc. In the same way, criminals might keep mindlessly breaking the law, such as while existing in their self-absorbed microcosm until they get caught, injured, etc., for them to finally recognize their habits as a problem to become a catalyst for change. Among alcoholics and other addicts, for example, the first step to quitting is said to be to recognize the habit as a problem, such as to bring it to the focus of your conscious awareness so your mind will be willing to do something to change your behavior. Therefore, exemplifying how your consciousness in the present is all you got to control your future, such as because you are attached to your body so that you will have no choice but to experience all future consequences from your past decisions, good or bad. And future consequences arise from the changes you make to the reality that surrounds you, including through interactions with people, what you've done to your body, and how you practice and train your habits and reflexes. For example, it might be a momentary reflex to reach for a phone while driving that leads to a crash that then causes you permanent injuries and or long-term legal consequences, such as due to causing injuries or deaths to other people. As such, please note the importance of a sharp and wise mind in the present to make decisions that take reality and consequences into consideration, to make the best choices you can to increase the likelihood of happiness in your future. As described in other videos as the design of life, the purpose of reincarnation is for souls to keep training these reflexes life after life until your reflexes are conducive to a happy immortality so you can find heaven as an angel instead of hell. And your reflexes about social conventions like waiting for your turn to speak or how you deal with your fault after causing an accident is vital to ensuring happiness among immortal angels, where flaws can cause hell when dragged out against eternity. Since your decisions in the present are based on the past, please know there can be an exponential effect where seeking your personal wisdom can lead to wiser decisions, which then leads to even wiser decisions in the future, etc. Which makes time precious, and modern folks don't seem to understand this when they consume drugs and kill time, such as to then complain in the future when they suffer from consequences in health, finances, life, etc. In other videos, I have described how to soulmeet the science of angels. Your conscious awareness in the present is called Locke, where your past reflexes, habits, behavior, etc. comprise your Sus, and both Locke and Sus are parts of your soul. I have described how Sus acts like your automatic life reflexes relative to your past experiences, and relative to biology, you can picture Sus as neural connections in your brain that determine your future reflexes, behavior, etc. Because Sus is automatic and quick in reflex, there might be times your life feels out of control, such as where you yell at someone by reflex so that your Locke awareness is slow to realize it, making it feel like you're watching someone else doing the yelling. In other videos, I have described how by the design of reincarnation, animals were designed to learn about selfishness first, and therefore animals exist in the wild by design because the exploration of selfishness can result in injuries and deaths. As a result, new human beings who were animals in the past life will possess many selfish reflexes, especially because there are so many more human births over human deaths in the world, therefore drawing in many souls of varying quality. Meaning by the design of life, we all learn about selfish needs first as animals and then learn to balance these needs with the needs of other people, called empathy and objectivity, as human beings until we are individually good enough to qualify as angels. Through reincarnation, memories might be erased by death and the body might change, but the reflexes continue from life to life, and is the primary reason why reincarnation will exist, so souls can learn to fine-tune their reflexes until qualifying for angel. so that angels can have good habits, behavior, and personalities due to having good reflexes produced through reincarnation, therefore ensuring heaven can be heavenly for all immortals. Hopefully this description helps you understand how habits, behavior, and personality comprise of reflexes, and through your understanding, hopefully it becomes easier for you to control and manipulate your life and fate as a result. Thanks for watching.